Catch a nigga slipping from behind. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. The nigga out like an outbreak. Chopper start, send me the house shake. Nigga sweeter than a pound case. Eyes on your chin, better watch what your mouth say. Deal with the footballs, got a nigga tripping. Fuck it, nigga keep sipping. AK with the beam on it. Clip sold on like a lean on it. My nigga like behind ball. Move 100 pounds for a lawyer, beat the charge. Jack down, and it play Marshall. If a nigga try to rob, fucking hit him with them. Put it on the street, I'm a suspect. Hanging with the killers in the projects. They don't want a barrel, keep quiet. Catch a nigga slipping from behind. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. 100 bands on your head, get the job done. Throw it up, nigga, where you from? Whole hood hot, cause your nigga hitting licks. Ain't made a meal yet, but he still nigga rich. Stick on my, How you want it, nigga? Full of the city. Looking for the cash, searching for the bag. Young nigga wildin', throwing up flag. Shooters on the roof with a scope. Money make gon' treat you like the pump. Hey, word on the street, I'm a suspect. Hanging with the killers in the projects. They don't want a barrel, keep quiet. Catch a nigga slipping from behind. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. The nigga out like an outbreak. Chopper start, send me the house shake. Nigga sweeter than a pound case. Eyes on your chin, better watch what your mouth say. Deal with the footballs, got a nigga tripping. Fuck it, nigga keep sipping. AK with the beam on it. Clip sold on like a lean on it. My nigga like behind ball. Move 100 pounds for a lawyer, beat the charge. Jack down, and it play Marshall. If a nigga try to rob, fucking hit him with them. Put it on the street, I'm a suspect. Hanging with the killers in the projects. They don't want a barrel, keep quiet. Catch a nigga slipping from behind. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. 100 bands on your head, get the job done. Throw it up, nigga, where you from? Whole hood hot, cause your nigga hitting licks. Ain't made a meal yet, but he still nigga rich. Stick on my. How you want it, nigga? Full of the city. Looking for the cash, searching for the bag. Young nigga wildin', throwing up flag. Shooters on the roof with a scope. Money make gon' treat you like the Pope.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Hello. How are you all doing out there? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Just My Opinion Reviews. This is Spoilers Edition, guys. We are talking a Netflix film just dropped the other day before yesterday, talking They Clone Tyrone. Yes. I am so super duper excited to be discussing this film with you guys. If I'm doing a live stream after I did a non-spoiler review, that pretty much says how I felt about it, and I cannot wait to get into all this nitty-gritty. So like I said, we're going to be spoiling this up, down, left, right, in, and out as if you've already seen it. You have been warned. So if you haven't seen They Clone Tyrone, that's on Netflix, starring Jamie Foxx, Tyrone Paris, and John Boyega. Press pause on this, go watch it on Netflix, then come back and you can check out the replay and get into all this spoilery goodness. That is your warning again. And you've been warned. So, don't get mad at me. I see that we have about 46 people watching right now. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully we have 46 thumbs up. And right after I give these lovely shout outs, I'm going to go ahead and bring in who I have backstage. Really excited to do so as well. But let's just go ahead and start shouting people out. We have Frankey Beastmaster. What's going on? Thank you for being here. Sean Covington. Peace. What's going on? Kyle Lakel. Hey. The Big Auntie Energy Show. What's going on? Pick 3 Prediction. What's up? Shenandoah Walker. What's good, ma'am? How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. I love the yellow hearts. We also have Anita Gentris in the building. Hey, Struggle. What's going on? ER's grandpa. Hiya! What's going on, man? How you doing? Thank you for being here. Sierra Brown in the building. What's up? Tony T. What's good? Shani 12. Hey. We got Deborah Dorsey in the building. What's going on? Struggle Reviewz TV is her. Hit that like button, y'all. And yes, y'all see her in the thumbnail of this video. I love Tyra to death. I mean, my goodness gracious. I'm so happy that we met a number of years ago and we are able to collab. And yeah, I reached out to her and I was like, hey, They got this new movie called They Clone Tyrone coming up on Netflix. They blessed me. I was able to see it a little bit earlier. Tyra, you're going to love it. You know what I'm saying? You got to see the movie. You got to come through and chat with your boy. And that's what brings us here today. She is the queen of throwbacks. Like any movie from 50 years ago, 100 years ago, she got you covered. I want to bring her on right now, the lovely Miss Tyra with Struggle Reviewz TV. Hello, ma'am. Hello, hello. How are you doing, man? How are you doing?
Hey, B, I'm awesome. Talking about these movies from 50 years ago and whatnot. 50 years, 100 years ago, she got you. I really do know. Thank you for having me, B. I'm so happy to see you.
Of course, ma'am. I'm happy to see you too. It's been a minute. I cannot remember the last time we did collab together. I think it was Snowfall. It was Snowfall. Okay, yes. You're right. Snowfall. And I was gonna be like, we can do it next season, but there's no more snow. There's no more show. There's no more Snowfall. So we got to find something else in addition to this right here. But Tyra, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I really do.
Absolutely, all day long. Like we got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do. And I missed you too. I missed you. Like I meant what I said before you came on. You are truly a gem to work with, and so thank you for being here.
I love the intro music. B, I was back here getting my life. That's my song.
Thanks to you. Yes, shout out to Tyra. She provided the music for today on the intro. So shout out to her if you like that. And yeah, your group is here. Your group is here. They love you. Let me go ahead and shout out a few more people before I present you guys with another surprise. We have Marv Elise in the building. Hello. What's up, low key? How you doing? That OG Bobby Johnson. It's crazy. Yes. Funky G83. We got Nicole Sherman in the building. What's going on? William Rogers Jr. What's up? Nona Britton is in the building. Justin D. Hendricks, PhD. All right, got a genius. The Nino Show. Miss Kyra Speaks. What's up? Lanetta, Bruce Leroy, and guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really, really do appreciate it. And guys, I have a surprise for you. I thought that it was just going to be me and Miss Tyra today, Miss Struggle Reviewz TV. But another homie from across the way, across the world, hit me up today. It was like, hey, B, I saw that They Clone Tyrone, man. This is right up my alley, and I got to talk about it. Do you mind if I come through? I'm like, hell yeah, man, bring your ass. I've been wanting to collab with you. This movie is right up your alley. Yes. We've worked together before. I've been on his channel at least once, and we collabed a couple of times on Elliot's channel, I believe, covering Atlanta and some other show or movie. I can't remember. Swarm, yes, there you go. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcoming this gentleman to the show for the first time. That is Mr. Taurean with Taurean Rain Reloaded.
What's going on,
my brother? What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great, and thanks for that wonderful introduction. Like I felt like I was having the red carpet be rolled out, and I was saying no pictures.
yes.
But now I'm glad to be over here. When I saw this movie, I was like, I'm trying to talk to as many people as I can about this movie. This movie was so good. I watched it yesterday, did my review, uploaded it today, and I kid you not, I had maybe about 10 minutes left in the movie, and I paused it and ran and did the review and went back and watched the rest of the movie. That's how excited, that's literally how excited I was. So literally, I did a review without even knowing what the ending was going to be. But yeah, so that's how excited, and I never do that, so that means I really enjoyed this movie. But yeah, I'm glad to be up here. I'm in good company. What's going on, Tyra?
Hell yeah, what's up?
I know the last time we was like, because I remember we was doing like Brandon said with the Atlanta recaps on Elliot's channel last year, and those were fun to do.
Yes,
though I was always looking forward to Sunday to do those reviews.
Does this not like low key remind you a little bit of Atlanta? We write like still in our element still.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, again, if this is your first time here, this is Taurean with Taurean Rain Reloaded, and of course Tyra Struggle Reviewz TV. If you love what we all have to say, you can follow all of us on social media. Our handles are on the screen, and their information is in the description box of this video. And also, if you want to subscribe to their channels, I have that up as well. We have Struggle Reviewz TV. This is her right here. Let's help her get to 25K. And then we also have Taurean's page right here. This brother just passed the 60K milestone not so long ago. So congratulations to both of you guys there. I'm trying to climb as well. Also, you know, they updating this technology. Okay, I'm not just streaming on my channel. We doing multiple streams here on Towers too. So whether it's my channel, Towers channel, Taurean's channel, you know, subscribe to everybody. Let's engage in the chat and have a lot of fun as we break this film down. I super duper excited. Oh damn. And before we do, I gotta address the super chat real quick from W. My goodness gracious, my brother, you are always taking care of us over here. My goodness, let me do it like this for the first super chat of the day. Yeah, you're gonna get out there for $100. W, thank you so much for the $100. I really appreciate it. Happy birthday, and thank you for sharing this recommendation for this movie. T, respectfully representing the DMV. Thank you so much, W, for the $100 super chat, and also for the birthday wishes, man. Your boy is getting on up there. So thank you.
Does it feel like it?
Thank you. Yeah,
I mean, not look it, but does it feel like it?
Yes, as I was walking up the stairs yesterday and today, my knee was popping. It was popping. I need to do some stretches and some Pilates or something, because I don't know. It was going kind of crazy.
Cap. He 25. I don't know why.
I wish. Man, if I can go back to 25 and redo some things. No, but it's all good. But y'all, let's go ahead and get into this movie. Now, I've seen it twice by now. I saw it a little while ago, and I just finished it about 30 minutes before we started this live. And I will say, like most of the time, I like this movie even more the second time around. I was pressing pause and trying to get some screenshots and find all the Easter eggs that are, you know, back in the background. And I saw some things I didn't notice the first time. But y'all, I love this film. I was laughing my behind off, man. This is a true gem. It is amazing. This is the directorial debut for brother Jewel Taylor. And, you know, he is definitely on my radar right now for being a writer and director of this project. I just think he did an incredible job. When I was giving my non-spoilery review, one of the highlights for me is I felt that they took a lot of the negative stereotypes that come up in the Black community and turned them into a positive. And I'm just going to give you guys one example of that real quick before we get started. You know how if you look into the media, sometimes they will portray Black people as ghetto thugs and all of this, showing them with a bunch of chains and guns up in the photos like they're killing each other. However, towards the end of the film, we had that exact image right here, but it was turned into a positive because I didn't see a bunch of thugs or gangsters that wanted to tear each other down. I saw the community coming together, you know, with all the guns, the pistols, the shotguns, the Uzis, the AKs, whatever. And it was beautiful. I mean, same image, but completely different context. And so I noticed that the first time, but it even popped out to me much more the second time. So I'm just like, wow, this is like genius writing right here. And so that's just one of the many reasons why I really did enjoy this film. But Tyra, let me point it to you, ma'am. I honestly don't know how you feel about this. I can imagine you liked it because you're here and you're smiling, you're giggling. I love that. That's why you're here as well. But we haven't talked about it. Even when Taurean got here, I was like, hey man, I'm imagining you liked the show, and he already said he loved it, but I was like, don't tell me how you feel. I want to be surprised. So I don't know. I haven't seen any review from you, any tweets, commentary, nothing like that. Tyra, let us know. Let me know for the first time that you love this film, that you hate it, you somewhere in the middle, you have some nitpicks, or is this the best thing you saw this year? How you feeling about that, Clone Tyrone? You're muted.
Yeah.
Oh no, we can't hear you. Tyra, we can't hear you, ma'am. Tyra.
See.
Okay.
Right about now.
There we go.
Yeah. Here we go.
There you go.
Yeah, this is definitely the best movie I've seen all year. It took me the second time to watch it because the first time I was like, dang, we just had to be a pimp, a hoe, and we had to be a prostitute to be outside in this science fiction world. But once I watched it the second time, I understood what they were trying to do. And with me constantly reviewing old movies and watching everything, this is definitely like a throwback blaxploitation film, just set in like science fiction, modern day, and it's also satire. This movie was good as hell.
Yes.
It was good.
Yes. Taurean, where are you at on this, man? How did you feel about it? I mean, I know you loved it, but I want you to kind of, expand on that a bit more, my brother.
Tyra actually hit on a point that I really agree with, and it's something I said in my review, is that it definitely felt like they took the blaxploitation era of film and brought it to modern day. Like they kind of meshed it, together. And that was a very interesting time in film. I said one day I'm gonna just like do like a marathon of watching those type of films. And one thing that I loved about the movie too was the music. The music helped guide this movie along a lot. Like I want that soundtrack. That soundtrack was really good. And I like how the music that they use actually fit the scenes well. Because sometimes you'll have a song that's in there that doesn't fit, but every scene where a song was used, it actually fit the tone of what was going on in that particular scene. All the lead actors, John Boyega, Tyrone Paris, Jamie Foxx, all killed it. They all did a very, very good job of this movie in their roles. And what is interesting is that these are three unlikely pairs to actually, I guess you can say, solve a mission or complete a mission. Like let's be real here. When you look at these three, would you actually think of calling on them to actually help solve a situation as major as this? Probably not. But they managed to find a way to actually come together with all of their issues, because they all had some issues going on with them, and actually solving a problem that was clearly going on that was affecting everybody. Like they weren't thinking about just themselves individually. They were thinking of the group, that they were thinking of the community. And you really hit on a good point too, Brandon, when you said when they came together at the end, when you saw when all of them freed all the people down there, they were giving them food, they were giving them coffee, they were putting shelter, they was putting blankets on them because they were naked, like they were down there because they've been down there for so long. So yeah, like this movie hit on pretty much all cylinders for me, and I didn't know what to expect after seeing the trailer. I was the same way you, Tyra. I was like, oh, please don't let it be one of those movies. But I am glad that they didn't go all the way and lean heavy into that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Right on, man. Right on. I love it. You spoke on the soundtrack, and I have a list of the whole thing right here. We can go over that if you want to, but you hit the nail on the head, with the soundtrack, because it was fire. It was fire. I really did enjoy that. And piggyback some off what you were saying, Tyra, I kind of had the same feelings initially, like, okay, a pimp, a drug dealer, and a hoe. When I was reading the production notes of this, I noticed that they did call her a hoe or a whore, and there was some language of bitches in the dialogue as well. But in the production notes, they used a working girl. But what worked for me is, and it didn't bother me, is Yo-Yo, Tayona Paris. She was much more than the role that she played. She had some layers to her. She acknowledged that the situation she was in. She said at one point, kind of towards the end of the second act, beginning of the third, I'm still in the same place, just living a few doors down from the house that I grew up. But I had plans and dreams to go to New York and work for the New York Times. And she was very intelligent. She sent that piece. She tried to mail that piece off, and she had diagrams and maps in there and theories and just, connecting the dots. So she knew what she was doing. She was just a victim of circumstance. I also liked, she was, if she was playing a whore or a hoe or however you want to call it, she didn't have her ass and titties all out there with a leg spread. She was joking around with Mr. Chicken Man, when she was trying to do some incognita, get some information. But she aspired to do more. Even Jamie Foxx was like, hey, after this, are you gonna go backpacking across the world somewhere? She had a desire to step out of the situation that she was in. And you know, the whole time she was like, I think the first time we saw her, she was like, I quit. I'm retiring. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
We got
tired, ho.
yes, you know, this Mr. Weirdo over here. I forgot exactly what she said, but he pulled out a razor blade and cut his penis, and he wanted me to suck on this motherfucker, you know. So I was laughing my ass off. Of course, Jamie Foxx is one of the best in the game. I felt that she was able to compete with him quite well. They bounced off each other very well. Especially in the elevator scene when they were singing, "I'm going down."
Yeah,
I laughed my butt off, man. On top of
I feel like that was improv. I feel like that
Really?
was improv. I feel like that was not scripted for Jamie Foxx to start singing "I'm going down" while I'm in the elevator, and then for Tiana to follow up behind him. And the reason why I say that is because John Boyega's response to that looks so genuine, and then him to look up like, what is going on here? And it would have been so funny if he would have joined right in and did it right along with him. But
it would have been out of character, though.
Yeah, well, you got a point there. You got a point there. But yeah, I feel like that part was improv, but it actually did work. And I just found myself laughing at that part. I'm like, what? But I said that's like such a Jamie Foxx thing to do.
No. I like Tiana's character more than anything because she was the one that they opted not to clone. Like, you just that obsolete and that, you know, like nobody, that we don't have to worry about you. You're not a concern. No, you're not going to be an influential person in the community for anybody to want to look to you or follow you in any way as they would, you know, a preacher or a pimp or a drug dealer. We don't even need to clone you. She said, all right, I see you outside. Like I was here for that. I enjoyed her character, and even just they little distinctive like costumes and these little colors, like they low key look like ghetto Power Rangers. I like it.
yes. I was gonna bring that up. I love the contrast. I love the contrast, and I think I said that in my review too. Like they did some ghetto Power Rangers, man. I mean, you got the green. Yes, I said something close. Like they got the green, the purple, and the yellow. They look strong. They look confident. The colors are bright and vibrant and very distinct from each other. And then you have this silver, grayish, bluish background in the elevator scene. I thought that popped. I thought it popped. Yeah. I thought it popped. Yeah. And man, y'all are saying so much. I'm trying to comment and respond to everything because I really had a good time with this right here. But like you were saying, Tyra, they underestimated her, or at least Kiefer Sutherland did. Yeah. Because when he popped up on the scene, just like, you know, hey, I'm not in charge, you know, I'm just the guy that they called to clean up a mess. He said that Slick Charles and Tyrone or Fontaine were very expensive, but you're just another hoe. You just a dime a dozen. But she ended up being like one of the most intelligent out of the whole group. And so she was the when they were nervous, you know, she was the one that was calming everybody down. Like, okay, no, we can chill at our grandmother's house. Let's take a deep breath. You know, we can't just go storm the castle. You know, of course, she sent the document off to the Times, which I just spoke about. What she did at the end with her wig, I thought that was freaking genius. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I don't have a problem with wigs. You know, just as long as any style, as long as it look good. Sometimes they look good. Sometimes, ladies, you need to pay attention. Kind of just pull it down a little bit, you know. But
if you want me to put his wig back, don't be making
no. Your wig is fire. No, your wig is fire. Your wig is fire. I love it. Tyra, you ain't never looked a mess. You always on point. You know what I'm saying? With the hair, the makeup, the glasses. I mean, Tyra, her makeup matches her glasses. She got like 67 pairs of shades. You know, you be on it. You know what I'm saying? And so look, her microphone is even matching her glasses. Right. That's how coordinated she is.
I just peeped that too.
So, no, there's no shade over here, ma'am. There's no shade over here on my end. I think you're fantastic. I think the wig in this was fantastic. It just like, because some people shit on wigs, but in there it saved a life. It was used as a protective shield. And I don't know if y'all heard that story that was on the news not too long ago. It was on one of the spinoff YouTube channels of the Young Turks. This one woman had a wig on, and it was a stray bullet, and it saved her life. And so when I saw that in the film, I was like, oh my goddamn, that's just freaking hilarious. I'm trying to find it real quick right now. I'm not going to like play the video, I just want to show y'all the thumbnail. Okay, well, they
You're
got a
fine.
1,000 videos. But oh, here we go, real quick, right here. Woman's wig saves her from being killed by a stray bullet right there on the pink. So I don't know. I thought about that, man. But
I just like the fact
go
that
ahead.
it was natural. Be like they just assume like, oh, she ain't on a creamy crack,
Right.
because it's a natural wig. There's no way that this is a wig. We can perm it and get the chemicals into her. Like they just assume since it wasn't bone straight that it had to be her natural hair.
Yeah.
Right on. Tony, you got any other commentary about Miss Yo-Yo? Cause yeah, she was a standout. And I got that too clean perm
Too
cream
clean
right
perm
there.
cream.
Yeah.
What a title. When she was dropping off the envelope inside of the mailbox, I thought that was so funny, like, or interesting too, because she was literally about to tell them or expose the whole operation. And that one just had to ruin it by saying, yo. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Biddy. Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, Biddy, yeah. It had to like explode, like just yelling her name. She was almost out of it, and it wasn't enough of a disguise for her to not get caught.
Yes, girl, shut up.
Now,
yeah, but I really did enjoy her character. Teyana Paris, like, I feel like she doesn't get enough props when it comes to her acting range and her acting ability. But I'm glad that that she was chosen to do this part, because honestly, I could not see anybody else do this part at this point.
I agree. You're right. I love her. She is fantastic. And if you are watching this, Miss Teyana Paris, give us a thumbs up in the chat. Congratulations to everything great you have going on in your real life. Now, I want to ask y'all this based off this comment right here from Mr. PhD in the comments, Mr. Justin W. Hendricks, PhD. I thought Boyega added gravity to the African American experience was interesting. I wonder if any other Black American actor could lead and offer the same support. I think it matters in this film. Definitely have my commentary.
I'm ready.
I'm gonna save it. Okay, Taurean, I'm gonna go to you first, my brother. How do you feel about Mr. John Boyega in this film and him portraying the African American drug dealer as Dr. Hendricks has pointed out here? Do you agree? Disagree? You somewhere in the middle? How you feeling, sir?
It's a double-edged sword. On one side, I can see why a lot of people would prefer an American actor, a Black American actor, to want to portray that character, because that's an experience that many Black American men, I would say, definitely go through and know that experience more well than other places across the pond. Definitely, for sure. And that's a conversation that's been brought up quite a bit. I don't know if y'all saw the interview that Samuel Jackson had did on Hot 97 a while ago, when he was basically saying that he's like basically saying there's not a shortage of American actors. It's just that y'all can get it for cheap when you go over to the UK. Yeah. Which, when you look it up, I said he's not wrong about that. You can really like get them for cheap. Like, they don't cost much. On the flip side of it, though, is if you did have, say, a Black American actor, then people would have been finding something else to critique about it, because, oh, they got another Black man playing a drug dealer, another stereotype. So it's really like one of those things where you can't really win with that. But I think because of how layered this character was and how the outcome was, most people would have preferred a Black American actor to portray this part because of how it played out. Because it's not like they lean too much into him being a stereotype all the way, like they easily could have. But yeah, I definitely see the point. I definitely see the point in that particular comment. I will say that he actually did do a good job playing that role. Like, he actually made me believe that he was from here. Like if I had never knew who John Boyega was before this point, I would have been blown away to hear him speak with an accent. That's how it was for me when it came to Idris Elba when he was playing Stringer Bell in The Wire. When I was like, oh snap! When I heard him speak, I was like, where did this accent come from? Like, is he just acting right now? Is he just throwing on a British accent? But then when I heard him speak, I was like, oh wow, that caught me by surprise.
Okay. Tyra, where you at on Mr. Boyega, Mr. Fontaine?
I was not thinking about John Boyega, Mr. Fontaine, when this movie was first like introduced. I saw that Brian Tyree Henry was supposed to be in this role,
Oh,
aka Paperboy from
oh,
Atlanta.
right.
And I tell you, I was so excited. I was so excited, and I was like, "Oh, we are about to be cheated in experience." I think whatever, some schedule conflicts happened, and he wasn't able to take on the role. But with what we've seen from him and the films that he's been in, and just especially the subject matter of this film in comparison to something like Atlanta, all the satire and little dark comedy humor, little offbeat, oblong ass moments, he is like perfect there. So I was watching this the entire time, like, oh, I wonder how, Brian Tyree Henry would have did that. Like, but not to say that John Boyega did not do a good job. He did a wonderful job, as Tyree just said,
Fontaine.
like they always they always do a good job at, acting like, we would act over here. That's never the issue. It's just always, like, oh, such and such could have had that job. But, via the question, could anybody from here had done a better job? Brian Tyree Henry would have been like perfect in this role.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Man, I think this may be the first time we disagree today about the film. I personally was not in love with John Boyega's character in this film. I don't think he did a horrible job. It wasn't crap, but even the second time I was watching this, especially the first 30 minutes, I kind of struggled adapting to his character. I personally don't think he captured the African American experience to the best that it could be. This is news to me, Tyra. I had no idea that Brian Tyree Henry was up for the role, and so I don't know what happened. I think that would have been fantastic. But John Boyega was okay. If we had to rank the three characters, Yo-Yo, Slick Charles, and Fontaine, I'm still debating on who I like more out of Slick Charles and Yo-Yo. Okay. but Fontaine will be at the bottom for me. He will be at the bottom. Now, when the crap hit the fan early on in the film, another thing that I really did like, he did grow on me. And I started to appreciate everything he had to offer. But it took a while. And maybe you guys can help me out with this. But something he did towards the end of the film that was great is it's a popular song. It's been out for a minute. It's conscious as hell. The revolution will not be televised. Who sings that song? Or who I don't know.
Scott
Heron.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that when it was the end of the second, when it comes to Fontaine, at the end of the second act, beginning of the third, when they went down to the laboratory the second time and they found the clones, and he was losing his mind and started shooting through the glass, and they're like, we got to get the F out of here. Like the next day when Yo-Yo came and was like, hey, this is bigger than you, it's bigger than me. He's like, I was built in the tube. Like, this is my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to do. When she left and he went and laid down in the bed, they started giving flashbacks of his daily routine of him going to the liquor store, getting a Rillo, getting a scratch off and some beer, pouring it out for Frog, and lifting 275 on the bench. That song, The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. If you don't know what that means, it literally means it won't be. It's multiple meanings, but it literally means like it won't be televised. The revolution will happen in our minds when Black people can finally learn and be conscious, and it changes in our head. That's when the revolution will happen. I thought that's what was going on during that scene right there, and it spoke volumes to me. And so that's when I really did get on board with this character. I was like, okay, yeah, let's go and storm the council. But I don't know, man. Just for me, I was struggling at the very beginning. If you're seeing this, John Boyega, I'm sorry. I still love you, my brother, but at the same time, I got to be honest. So, am I tripping, or can y'all kind of see where I'm coming from?
No, in comparison to a character like Yo-Yo and how big Jamie Foxx felt in this role, and with him getting the most screen time, it spoke, volumes. The fact that once, they're, I guess, in a setting all together, you do have more attention towards maybe a Yo-Yo or Slick Charles and, what's going on there. They're more captivating than he is solo. So I can see it.
Gotcha. Okay. Taurean, am I tripping, or you see where I'm coming from?
No, I agree with you.
Okay. Tyra, I know you was happy when you saw your boy pop up from what's the show called, man? What's the name of the show?
Where the girls get naked.
Yeah. I like him. I like him. He was funny to me.
Playing with murder again.
Right. Exactly. And so that was cool. I think his name in this was Isaac. I kind of got a tickle. You know, he was trying to shave at the very beginning. He was like, I can't never get no me time. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I have so much to say. I kind of like. Is there anything else that just kind of just stood out to y'all that you're just busting out of the scenes right now that you just absolutely love, that you just want to talk about as far as the plot, any other characters, something in the background? Go ahead.
I liked what they did in the scene with the music in the club. That part really got me when he switched the music, when he got the call to the little earpiece and he said, "Oh, they on their way up," and he switched the music. And I forgot what it was titled. I forgot what it was called. And it's like everyone went from dancing real fast to slowing down. And then he literally said the silent part out loud. And he says, "You feel like you're under mind control." And they didn't even hear it because they literally were under mind control. And then when they left out of the club, again, Yo-Yo figured it out again. It's in the music, like plug your ears, like cover your ears, because Slick Charles literally got into the trance right there. And then when they ran out of the club and they chased after him, I thought that was World War Z. It was like zombies. Like, they was like literally taking that part right there. Like that part was crazy. And play in case of emergency. Now imagine you see that on a DJ table, play in case of an emergency. And he literally played the song. Wasn't it called the song called "Drunk as Fuck"? I think that was the song they played.
Peeping Tom.
Zesty. And you notice the name Ruckus kept popping up a number of times. Every time where I think he was either in the church or the crack or the chicken. Ruckus was like a code word or some code word to like destruction or degenerate behavior for black people. And so that was that did stand out to me. Okay, I mean, you said the club stood out to you. I have my scene. I'm gonna talk about here in a second. It kind of I don't want to say rubbed me. It stung. But Tyra, anything like that just spoke to you? She was like, "Whoa, I got to get this off my chest." Like anything. What you got?
Definitely like the final act where we're confronted with the OG Fontaine. That was my favorite scene because I had to watch that scene at least 3 times to digest what I felt like was going on. And I was like, oh, okay. Because at first I was like, what the hell? I'm not understanding why we are trying to, it's not enough to assimilate. We need to, over generations, turn into white people pretty much to achieve this utopia. And I was like, I'm not understanding what this are these not black people and black writers? Why would we put this here? And then it was like, oh, okay, I understand. I understand, what we are trying to do because the OG Fontaine has been sure to give every single clone that one memory of the brother. And you see that he's carrying all of this resentment and this pain as to why I would even conspire with the man in them to even do something like this. And I took it firsthand, like, oh, everybody, this film is saying we need to turn into white people to achieve a utopia, as if, that's just a superior race to be, and us as black people are inferior. Ain't like that. Then when I watched it again or a couple more times, I was like, oh, okay, I'm taking it as not so much that being the inferior, not us being the inferior race and then being superior. It was just more so like for us to be okay and just achieve the utopia and be seen as equal, we have to be, over generations turn into these white. Of course, this is what the OG is saying. Like, we would want to do that because no matter, how we try to conform or try to act what they put in the food or in the music, they're still going to just see us pretty much as niggas. So what we should do instead is try to look like them so they won't see us as much as a threat. And it was just all out of fear for not wanting to see anybody else end up like his little brother. And I was like, okay, I'm understanding, though it was wrong and, he was rightfully shot and I was here for it, but I understood what he was trying to do and why he felt like it was a utopia. Like we'll finally be safe and we won't have to worry. And it wasn't so much about just turning into a white person.
It's crazy. I feel like you kind of, Tyra, that scene is one of my nitpicks. I kind of thought that they could have drawn that out a bit more, or actually a lot more. That wasn't my favorite part of it. But unfortunately there are people like that in the community that do make deals with the devil. They've always been here. They always will. So many messages and underlying themes in this movie. It's just endless. But we gotta ignore those people too, not get emotional. And I'm talking about the Candace Owens and the Jesse Lee Petersons and Taurean probably got a whole list over there. The Stephen A. Smiths.
You named two. Yeah, that's a third one. You naming people off my list already.
Right. I got a big tickle, man. One broadcast you had, it's like, man, every time Stephen A. Smith coons, his hairline goes back a little bit more. Bro, I was laughing.
It's like the Pinocchio effect where he lies, his nose grows, but with him when he cools, his head goes
yes. So we have those people, and they're always going to be there. And so for me, when I'm seeing stuff like that, I'm just like, man, the more and stronger we are unified and uncoded, it doesn't matter if we have people in the community that sell their souls, just so they can get a paycheck. So it's a lot of Easter eggs in this right here. Another one that I want to talk about, man, is like, it's crazy how, unfortunately, like us Black people as a whole, we're all at different levels of awareness and of consciousness, and that's fine because we all grew up different and all that good stuff. But we love ourselves, but there's also still sprinkles of self-hate in the community. But everybody in the world loves us, but we don't to that same degree. And if we just realize that, if we just knew how special that we really are, first human beings on the planet, the sky is the limit on what we would be able to achieve and accomplish. And the point I'm trying to make is, everybody else knows that they copy us, they copy our culture. And I saw that in this movie, like, all the white people that was controlling us had afros. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they first went down the elevator, they had the white man dancing to Michael Jackson with an afro on. You know what I'm saying?
Don't stop till you get enough.
Yes, that stood out to me. The DJ that you brought up earlier at the club had an afro.
In the chicken spot had an afro.
He had an afro. Even at the end, the record store, the white man had an afro. And so,
well, but those were Black people, right?
You're kidding me.
No, they that's why I love the conversation at the end. Those are failed experiments of them first trying to transform the Black people into white people, but they're considered failed experiments because it's like, we couldn't get the hair right. They still have the kinky hair and the facial hair.
Oh shit. Yeah. Are you serious? I completely missed that. Taurean, did you pick it up?
I didn't get that. That was good. That was a good catch on Tyra's part.
Okay.
See, I said, listen, Tyra got that yo-yo spirit right now, because
yes,
yo-yo would have figured that.
Yes, that Nancy Drew, that Carmen Sandiego right there. Did you watch Nancy Drew or read Nancy Drew growing up, Tyra?
Oh no, but I definitely watched Carmen Sandiego.
Yes. I did too. Did y'all catch the name of the chicken place? I found that to be freaking hilarious. Goddamn chicken. That is I love that right there, man. This was a great scene to me as well. I don't know, I just kind of saw it as like, hey, we need to pay attention to the foods that we eat and that we consume. That's interesting. I like how woke Jamie was and how he recognized what was going on. But yeah, this is just we got to pay attention to the food that we eat and consume, and so I like
how Jamie was able to figure that out like immediately, like when they was eating the chicken and they just all was just laughing all over the place, like it was just kind of weird. Yeah. And like he knocked that chicken on the floor, and then everybody just stopped. So like I thought that was interesting, and of course that's like a stereotype that say with Black people that we eat a lot of fried chicken and whatnot. So it's almost like they go to certain places to know where we go the most. So and I thought that was interesting. So you went to a chicken spot, a church, and a hair salon, because that's three pinnacle places a lot of Black people will go. And I made this reference when I made my
David Allen Greer and Martin.
David Allen Greer, Leon Lonnie Love. Yeah. I immediately thought of Reverend Leon Lonnie Love when I saw him. I was like, what is that David Allen Greer? And I thought that was so interesting. And you know, they had the grape drink. I said they did the grape drink for the communion cup. And they up in there, and it's like they went from playing gospel music, but the transition into like an R&B music was actually pretty smooth, because I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I was literally about to start dancing too. I was like, wait, they ain't about to get me. I didn't drink the grape drink. But that transition from the gospel to R&B was real smooth.
Yeah, that's the scene that I was going to bring up that stung for me. But real quick, technical issue. Some people are saying that my audio is skipping every time I share my screen. I think that's because I'm bringing up images out of a folder, so I won't do that anymore. But y'all keep letting me know in the chat if my audio is messing up, so I do apologize. Let me make sure that the settings are good as well. But continuing on that, man, the conversation or the scene at the church, there was nothing wrong with it, but it just stung, because I know how, like, okay, so we have the chicken, the goddamn chicken, we have the grape drink, and they could have gave it a flavor. They just called it grape drink. That's just grape drink. Just, man,
grape drink. And it's red. Red.
This is how you know a black person wrote and directed this movie, because that's something that, you know, like us would say. We would say grape drink. And I'm gonna test y'all right quick.
It wasn't Fanta or nothing, but go ahead.
When it comes to Kool-Aid, how do you address Kool-Aid?
It's red.
Exactly.
Red.
See, we don't say the flavor. He's like, when people say, "Will you like some fruit punch Kool-Aid?" Some fruit punch. What? You mean this red Kool-Aid, this orange Kool-Aid, this purple, blue, green, yellow? Yeah.
But what I liked about it is early when they went down into the laboratory the first time, and I had some commentary on even how they went down. That was just so funny to me. You know, when Jamie was over there and playing, he thought it was cocaine. He took some, he started tweaking. Yo-Yo started tweaking. You know, they're at the chicken spot, tweaking, laughing. When the woman was at the salon getting the cream and crack on her head, oh my God, I had to take my money for the babysitter and put it to these bills right here. And then she was laying it on, and then she just started getting quiet and silent and all docile. I'm like, I guess I'm just tripping in the court. You know, what I'm saying is, the church scene took all of that and amplified it, because all of these chemicals, all this observation experiment is just to keep us always forgiving and docile. And one of the ways that this white supremacist system does that, especially, is through spirituality and religion. I mean, black people, we are the most spiritual, religious people on the planet. And to see, like you said, Taurean, they went from a gospel to R&B song. And sometimes church is not even church. It turns into an entertainment concert, you know, and loses focus. That kind of broke my heart when I saw that, man. When I saw that scene, I saw a bunch of, they had a bird's eye view aerial shot of everybody dancing and stuff like that. And look, I'm not trying to shame anybody that want to praise the Lord. You know what I'm saying? If you believe in Jesus, if you believe in God, that's your business. I have no issue with that. I believe in the higher power as well. But when I watched that scene, to me, it looked like a bunch of black people on strings as puppets. And I was just like, oh, this just kind of breaks my heart right here, man. Because you know, a lot of black people still to this day, you know, worship a white God, a white Jesus. And that's crazy. And they had one in the church too, you know, and that is textbook 101 brainwashing.
I thought it was very interesting too, that, you know, like, that the person was coming around with the plate with the communion cups on it, and they had the empty grape drink bottle sitting right there in the middle. I'm like, y'all went through that whole bottle. That was a big bottle for them little small cups, like for them to go through. I was like, they must have had a few sips, because there's no way they would have got that. They got that with one go around, so they went through that whole bottle. So I'm wondering, and I thought that was interesting too, that the three main characters was in that church from the time it went from gospel to R&B, and it was in the daytime. They did not move until it was nighttime. So that means they were probably, who knows how long they was up in there having a whole jam session. They was and probably didn't even realize it. They probably didn't even get tired. So so I thought that was very interesting too. Now looking back at it, because I didn't catch that before. But I was like, it's dark. And they were there since it was sunlight. So that means they had to been there since the
Black
morning.
church.
So
Right,
like
right.
that's crazy. So they practically slept there. When they got up, they was waking up from the pew, laid from the side. So they probably took a nap. But so I thought that was very interesting as well. Yeah,
it brought back memories for me, like them little communion Sundays. That great drink, them crackers.
Listen, first Sunday was the best one to go to because you was gonna get the little wafer and the little communion cup that had Welch's grape juice. And look, we know that was Welch's.
Welch's don't even taste like that no more. It's special in the church.
Yeah. Y'all are hilarious. Y'all are hilarious. And about hilarious, man. I just want to speak about the comedy, man. It was
quite a few of it in there. Trust me.
Yeah, like we always talk about Black people and what we would do in a horror movie, and part of this was kind of a horror movie as well, and in a sense. I mean, definitely. It's fucking frightening, but I love the way they handled it. Just we're talking about them going down in the lab the first time, so they kind of figure out something is going on. Biddy, that was always dressed in pink, she gave them the 411. Hey, they over here at this house. I saw the car. And they go up in there, and usually we, like don't go to the danger. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're gonna end up dead. We yelling at the screen, telling the white people not to do that in their scary movies, but we're doing it in this movie. One, it's our neighborhood, but two, at least if you're gonna do it, be smart about it. John Boyega, Fontaine went up there with the gat loaded and cocked back and ready, like I'm finna blow somebody away.
All
and then, you beat me to it. And then. Even before they got to the elevator, just Jamie Foxx's commentary, like, y'all, there is an elevator in a trap house.
Right.
Right. I laughed my ass off doing that part right there because it is so true. Like, this is not normal. What the F are y'all doing? Okay, we are not equipped for this right now. And I won't even call him a coward. I'm just saying, no, he is using his brain. Let's think about this. There is an elevator in a trap house. Okay, so come on, let's move with caution. You know what I'm saying? So when Fontaine is in there with his gun, she pulls out hers as well, and then they say something, and then Jamie pulls out, like fuck it, and she looks at him like, yeah, that's what I thought, nigga. And then the way that when the door opened, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Yo, she just leaned over like and no, she like just stepped through.
That's what reminded me. That's what reminded me of the blaxploitation era. When and again, them using the proper music for that scene. It reminded me of a 70s flick.
Yes,
like that's what it reminded. And you know what's so crazy? When you first saw the promotional pictures for this movie, before we even saw anything, I thought it was a movie that was a period piece. At first, the way, at least with how Jamie Foxx and Tiana Paris were dressed. So, and then them playing that music, even the type of guns that they had, that's the type of gun you would see in those movies back in the day, the guns they had. So I thought that was, very interesting how they brought the 70s era to the modern day. I really liked how they did that.
I love the guns because that's what Kiefer Sutherland's character speaks on. Like, I'm controlling everything from the guns that you're holding to the grills in your mouth. Like, I tailored that gun because that's another thing. Like, I haven't heard you speak on the era. There were so many things where it's like, well, then are we like in the 70s, current day, 80s, like 90s? Like where exactly are we?
I think they went like they covered various eras in this one movie. Like they went from 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020. So I think they cover like almost every era. With the
tech, like we see like some, like I think because somebody like Yo-Yo was supposed to be more current and not a clone. She has like more of a regular phone, but then you have Slick Charles, he has a flip phone.
The flip.
Then you see like TVs with the big backs on them. I was just like, what era are we supposed to be in? And then I realized like it was kind of a mixture of everything, with everybody just kind of supposing to be non-changing and complacent. Like we can have a pimp be a pimp, or a hoe be a hoe, a drug dealer be a drug dealer in any era. Like they're all going to have the same agenda no matter what time period they're in. But I love the fact that we had somebody like Slick Charles be a clone, so it's like he's filled with every like stereotype of what somebody would assume a pimp would be. So even though we might be modern day, like we pinky ring 70 Superfly ass pimp, I'm like, this is This is an old school pimp, so I love the fact that his gun was that old gold plated shaft ass chrome.
Yes.
No,
yes,
I thought
agree.
what was fun. I thought what was funny, and I don't know if y'all peeped it or not, and that goes back to the character from the show P Valley, was when they was inside the hair salon, when they was like looking at it and seeing all the ingredients that was in it, and showing that oh, they getting us through this as well. And when he had confronted Fontaine, he was showing that he had a gun like under the cape.
Yeah.
And then Yo-Yo looked down and was like, huh? And he was like, let me move it to the side like this.
Right.
Like that. Because she was like, oh, because at first he was like, oh, huh? Like this, but the look on his face looked like he was terrified,
Right.
of what she probably thought that was. But another funny part for me was at the beginning when Fontaine had hit that guy and broke his leg.
Yes.
And got the money. And he was like, oh, he was like, Fontaine, fuck you, nigga. He got on the phone and called Isaac. And he was like, that nigga Fontaine. And I think I broke my leg. And I think it's always so funny when someone's yelling on the other end of the phone and you just hang up on them mid-conversation. I always thought that was funny. Like he literally was laid out on the ground. And when it was always so funny how with his shots with that character, they were a lot of distant shots, so you can actually see him hopping along and struggling. Like the part when he shot, like when he went to go shoot Fontaine, he was hopping, pop, 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 and then hopping back to the car. So I thought that was funny.
The funniest thing to me, or the funniest scene, was them like simulating sexual acts to keep up the facade of us still doing whole stuff. Like, yeah, like what? He told me it was 3. Like, what? I thought that was freaking hilarious. I died. That was the funniest scene to me.
I thought that was very clever as well. I like that smart genius ingenuity. I like that too. I
liked it with the fact that Biddy wasn't going to do nothing unless she was getting paid. So you can tell that woman was all about her paper.
Money.
Like in the part where like when they were trying to find out where Yo-Yo was at when they had took her, she wasn't going to say much, and how she just always kind of like said a little something, then gave a look like I'll tell you the rest of you, pay me. And then Fontaine had gave her 100. She looked to make sure it real, and then all of a sudden she just snapped right into it, like she didn't, like she just paused her story and pushed the play button, went right and continued talking about where they had took her. So I thought that was funny because there's people like that really around. Like they are Mr. and Miss Run Tell That. They know all the gossip about everything going on in the community. And it worked for her because she was a prostitute. So she saw everything. She saw people going in and coming out of the community. So I like that, with her character.
1,000,000%, Torian. I agree, because I was going to bring it up at some point in time, and I said this in my non-spoiler review, that just kind of goes to show that everybody in the community has a role to play. Whether you're high class, middle class, low class, whether you're a prostitute, crackhead, drunk. In this film, they made you valuable. With Biddy, she had all the information. I liked her outfit as well. Even with Frog, the gentleman that was in front of the liquor store. He had a lot of education as well.
A lot of wisdom to him.
There you go. Yeah. Right. He can seem like the crazy conspiracy theorist that just is rambling a bunch of gibberish, but no, he had some wisdom in this.
He was the one that actually helped. He was the one that actually helped guide all three of them to that church.
Exactly.
He was dropping subtle. And the thing is, I like that he didn't straight out tell them. He wanted them to figure it out. So it's almost like he was dropping hints, but it was Yo-Yo who figured it out.
Right.
Like, okay, we got to go, to the church. I thought it was funny too when, because that's when Fontaine got stuck in the back of the van, and they had to go. They had to go and get him, and that's how they figured out that the van was over at the church.
And a funny part is that when he went to when Slick Charles was going to the church, I laughed out loud a few times when he was like, "Man, me and Jesus was cool, but we had beef ever since I picked a woman named Mary or something like that." I was like, "God damn," So I laughed at that as well. But ton of funny moments, even at the very beginning, where what's his name, Fontaine realized that one of his henchmen did not bring him enough money. Because Slick Charles was struggling. He was like, "Hey, where?" He was like, "Man, I'm hot as hell." He always carried the fan on. I'm like, "Bro, well, you got on a do-rag with a velour suit on. You know what I'm saying? Take that shit off." And so I kind of got a tickle out of that. Yeah. But when I was going to bring this up earlier, we was talking about the genre and what time this film took place. I think they made a mistake by kind of revealing what year it was, because this had to have taken place in the early 2000s. The reason why I say that is when Fontaine confronted Charles at the motel, he was like, "Man, don't be coming up here, ruining my counsel in front of my women like this. This is embarrassing. I was the 1995 International Pimp of the Year." I was like, okay, well, if you said that then of course this is past 1995. This is 2000, 2005, 2010, something like that. If we didn't get that little nugget right there, I don't think we ever would have known, and so
because he's not like a reliable narrator to give a year, because they have like put all those ideas in his head. So I never took anything he said like not like that, but like as face value for it's 1995. Like you could just be saying that because they told you was Mac of the Year in 95.
Yeah,
that's true too.
Justin actually put something.
He was a clone.
Justin actually put something in the chat. He said they mentioned a blockchain. Yeah, so when you think of it, so basically what it says to me is they would throw certain things out there and you had to pretty much guess where we're at. So when I hear blockchain and something like that, I said, okay, now we're probably more closer to current day when they say blockchain.
And gentrification and stuff like that's more so current day. I always felt like we were in current day, but just with the essence of what the Glen was supposed to represent, it was just a collection of a little bit of everything from different eras, but they never like specifically said, "Oh, it's 2000 whatever."
Yeah, and also when it comes to Slick Charles, maybe the reason why he's dressed the way that he is or he talks the way that he is because he's reliving out his glory days. Yeah. He has what I call the Peter Pan effect. He never grew up. Like he got 100%. Stuck. He got stuck in like a neutral part, and that's what that was a comfort zone for him, and he never like launched past that. A lighthearted point for me in this movie, and I'm glad that it happened with Fontaine, was when he was with the little boy, and they were shooting each other with a Capri Sun, because that was a point where Fontaine was actually able to really enjoy himself, because he was always looking mad. He was always felt like he was defeated, but in that moment right there, he actually felt like he could open up. And I like that they did it with that character, with the boy, because the boy kept bringing up SpongeBob and Squidward and whatnot. And at first it was like, Fontaine seemed like he didn't know what Squidward was, but then he knew what Squidward was, but he didn't really want to rely on that. But the scene before
go ahead.
The scene before that, and this is probably where I can chalk it up and say that John Boyega has very good acting range, was when he found out that his mother was actually a voice recording.
I was just about to bring it up, bro.
When he kicked that door in, and the thing is, he kept asking the questions and it kept saying things. I said, wait a minute, that's a voice recorder. That is not a person. When he kicked the door open and it was a whole voice recorder right there that was just timed to say things in response to whatever it was whenever you knocked on the door. I said that was crazy. That whole scene right there was very, very good acting on his part.
Very good. I agree. That was probably the best of the movie as far as his acting is concerned. Yeah, I was just about to bring that up, man. Real quick though, before what was his name, Justin? Thank you for bringing that point up about blockchain, because they did bring up crypto and stuff like that. I completely forgot about that, so I do appreciate that. But yeah, that was what I was going to bring up next. Tara, how did you feel about that, the recording?
No, I just thought about something. I was like, man, I wish I had thought about that while I was reviewing the movie, because I had spent a lot of time on just the era, because I'm like, this has to be current day. He's talking about, we could throw up a Starbucks or whatever. But I was thinking that with the OG Fontaine being the originator to be tied to the clones, and him being as old as he was, that's why Fontaine was maybe driving, that old school car. That's why with, maybe the memories of what Slick Charles was when he was, young himself, why he would be the representation of an old pimp from the 70s, because that's what, how what's his name? I don't know. I guess OG Fontaine would envision him. I'm thinking that this is all just trickling down from him, since he was like the first person to latch on and be a part of this in the first place. So maybe that's why everybody's just a little bit all over the place. Like, because all of the outside characters who aren't clones, they feel like average everyday now people, but everybody who is a clone is just kind of like, eh. And then you have somebody like Fontaine, who is kind of up to date a little bit more for the modern era of what a drug dealer is. But then you have Slick Charles, who's very much so 70s. But at the same time, you have Fontaine driving this, old car, as far as like where they're living. Like the set, everything looked like it was just set in the 70s, from the homes and the decor, everything. So I'm thinking that this is an extension of the OG Fontaine and not just so much them being just solely from them putting what they would think a pimp would be like. I think this is an extension of him, as well as something like The Preacher. Like clearly these have been, staples in the community for quite some time.
Yeah,
but what was you saying, B?
I don't remember. I don't remember. Like, cause I got stuff in my head in order about what I want to talk about, but then y'all will say another fire thing, and then that'll sway me. I'm like, oh, I want to comment on that too. Like now, you was talking about Tony. You was talking about the little boy Junebug. I think Junebug, the SpongeBob boy, I think he reminded Fontaine of his brother. Ronnie.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like what kept him going. They didn't really foreshadow that in the film. I'm just kind of like playing that in my head, but that's the kind of relationship that I thought they had, and that was just kind of nice right there. They probably could have left out the fact that he was a snitch for him. Like, I'm tired of snitching for you. Won't you put me on? I'm like, oh, I don't want to see like a little 8-year-old boy talking about put me on. That's not good, But they had to do that to flesh out the character, because that's what Fontaine is for, to influence the youth and keep this cycle of BS going. And so I guess it was necessary for the plot of the movie. So I guess I can I excuse me. I can dial that back right there. Now, what was I going to bring up? Also, this stood out to me. I don't want to bring up the image, but when like I said, this is kind of a horror movie. When they went downstairs, went underground, and they started looking at all the plans, and they saw the maps and the diagrams of Glenn and the surveillance and things of that nature. That's just scary to me, because it just shows that this is just the B office, the D office. You know what I'm saying? This is not the headquarters. We never did get to meet the head nigga in charge. We met Kiefer Sullivan, we met old school Fontaine, but this, they had locations in Los Angeles, Chicago, Detroit. What your call said, Keith the Sullivan asked, it was like, man, I chose Glenn because I thought it was gonna be quiet. You know what I'm saying? I thought this was gonna be like a little part-time 20-hour-a-week job cashiering at the grocery store at the Save-A-Lot. But no, y'all gotta cause a ruckus. And so that was a great representation to me of just like how deep the rabbit hole goes of a global racism, white supremacy. This is not going, like even Sutherland said, this is not going to happen overnight. This is going to take generations, and it's also going to take generations, for us to replace the system of white supremacy with the system of justice. And so that stood out to me as well. I want y'all's commentary on that, but I forgot to bring up a super chat a while ago, and I don't want to forget it. Marissa Wilson for $5. Thank you so much. I want to know what happened to Fontaine's mom. They never said what happened to her. And so real quick, do y'all
right?
I would assume so. What you think, Tony?
That she's dead.
Yeah,
that's what I was assuming. Yeah.
Okay. Marissa, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. We really do appreciate it. Thank you. And we also have another one. I'm glad I remembered that, because I would have sucked if I forgot. Blue Exit. What's up, Bobby Wright? And The Blackening are both. Wait, do you have a comment before this? Okay, this and The Blackening are both great Black millennium movies, sleeper hits. Shout out to you three chocolate people. I love it. Thank you, Bobby Wright, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. Loyal subscriber there. Did y'all both see The Blackening?
Yeah,
I actually had a chance to watch it. I didn't see it in the theaters, but I did have a chance to watch it. And I'm kicking myself that I didn't go watch it in the theaters, because that movie was hilarious. And it was another one of those movies where what Black people would do in a situation of a horror movie. Like, they literally took every type of trope that you could think of that Black people deal with in horror movies and what they should not do, and threw it into that one movie right then. I'm sitting there saying to myself, that's me. I'm sitting looking at this and saying, that's me. I would do that. I would not do that. And they're all types of stuff like that. But yeah, The Blackening was actually, like Mr. Bobby Wright said, was a sleeper hit.
Right. Ty, did you see the Blackening and what you think?
Yeah, I did. You know, I went in it. I wanted some horror, but it was a comedy. I was trying to get dark, but it was a comedy, and it was good. I love the way that it was handled. I did want them to go darker, of course, but that's because I thought it was like a dark. I thought it was gonna be more horror, kind of like this situation here. But no, it wasn't as serious as I thought it was. But it was funny. Like every single character was funny, and everybody who needed to live in that movie lived.
Right. It I didn't like it was okay for me. I didn't start laughing and more until like the second half of the movie. And so, but you know, shout out to everybody that was a part of that. And again, Mr. Bobby Wright, thank you so much for the super chat. But going back to what I was saying, man, when that like this was a back closet laboratory. This wasn't the main thing, man. This was a hole in the wall, man. So I would love a sequel to this. I doubt we'll get it, but like Taurean, what's your commentary on that, bro? Because they're just scratching the surface, you know, of this, man. It's to me that whole revelation was just like, we're not gonna okay. And Taurean, we've talked about this. The ultimate goal is for Black people around the world, for us to be in control of our own life in every aspect. Economics, education, entertainment, labor law, politics, religion, sex, and war. That's not going to be a reality until my grandchildren are born. I know that. That's just how long it's going to take. And that's what I saw when I saw these scenes and that diagram and how much control that they had. How did you feel, man, when that popped up? Are you sure the same sentiments, or what do you have to add, if anything?
Yeah, I definitely should have sent same sentiments. I would even go further and say that this lab expands overseas. Like, who's to say they probably somewhere in another nation somewhere doing the same exact thing. That's why that scene with Kiefer Sutherland when he first stepped out of that car, I was like, when I first saw that, I was like, hey, from 20, I said that's 24. I literally said that's 24. And I was like, wow, they got Kiefer Sutherland to play in this movie in the type of role that scene was scary to me, because it's like, imagine that you are under this mind control and you just literally have them do whatever it is that you want. Like, that scene was intense, and I'm still trying to figure out what does that mean. Did anyone figure out what Olympia Black meant?
No,
when he said Olympia Black, like that was the code word.
I thought it was just random.
No, I tried to find it. The only thing I found was that Olympia Black is a group of like either the author or the person over the books, or it's just like futuristic, like science fiction type of books where they talk about, as you can see here, like that's pretty much all I saw. But it was pretty much, just a hint at maybe what's to come if we head in this kind of direction of cloning Tyrones.
But that scene was just like, that was just very intense, because in that point, Yo-Yo was the only one that was really defenseless, because it was just her against all these other ones that was under mind control. She was the only one that wasn't under it. So like that, I thought that was one thing I will say is this: why did they give John Boyega that wig as Chester? What's his name, Chester?
I was about to ask how hot I felt about him. Yeah,
that
he looked like a house slave. I think
who was that though? Was that John Boyega as well?
That was him.
He was playing a double role. Okay.
Yeah,
triple, because he's an old man too.
Yeah. Okay. So triple role. So like that, I was like, this wig. I'm like, can they like?
I thought it was Denzel Washington's son at first. John Washington.
That was John Boyega. But I was like, that wig. I was like, they had to give him this wig. It looked like shoe polish with waves. I'm like, what? I was like, what is this?
Tyler Perry wig.
I like the fact that it was so out of place and adjacent to his natural hair. I thought it was intentionally like supposed to be a wig. It's like, we can't get rid of the nappy hair, but we want to transition somebody like Chester. Let's put this bad wig on him.
Right.
He looked like a house slave. It just matched to me.
He did. It would have been. Do y'all wish he would have talked, or y'all cool with him?
Actually,
with no lines?
I'm not even gonna lie. I actually kind of like the mystique of him not talking.
I got you.
Because I'm almost scared to see what his voice would have sounded like with that wig.
I felt like it would be like Adam's Family, like you rang, like that deep, you know how that brutish. What is I forget the man's name in Adam's Family, like
Lurch.
Yes, Lurch. I thought it was something.
What I would have liked to see is him wake up out of the trance or something, because when Boyega said Olympia Black and made him kill the original or whatever, he's, I don't know, snapped out of it like, oh my God, thank you, I've been trapped for 15 years, I don't want to do this no more. That would have, let's look at the white people,
and that's where I got the Get Out reference, because in Get Out they had the flash into the camera and it gets him out of the trance.
Did y'all how do you have any feelings about the strip scene? No, that's the same. That's the same as the dance club. Never mind.
Tara, I'm always here for that. No, what you
like? Are you a Kiefer Sutherland fan? Did you watch 24 back in the day, or any other products that he was in?
Not so much 24, but just all the movies that he was ever in. I love me some horror. Lost Boys or Stand By Me. Like, he's been acting a really long time.
Phone Booth.
Yes, I thought he was low key underutilized here. Like, I would have all been here, but maybe that's which I think tying back into what you were saying about the laboratory and how deep the rabbit hole goes. I was like, so y'all can give us 3 more movies with this same premise, right?
Yes.
This is a little bit beyond here, but I was all for maybe him being the main villain and being the man, because he's a really good actor. I felt like he could have been used a whole lot more.
Yeah, like they literally just fleshed the vast majority of his character out with that one scene right there, and then the next time you really saw him interact was with Yo-Yo when they captured her and they had her down there in the lab, and he was reading off the file that she was mailing off.
Right.
Yeah.
One
of my favorite movies with Kiefer Sutherland, like, not to get off topic, but one of my favorite movies with him in it, and I hated his character in it, and I'm glad he got it in the end, was Eye for an Eye. I don't know if y'all ever saw that movie, Eye for an Eye. Okay.
I think I have.
Sally Field.
I kind of I'm trying to think of it. Sounds I know I've at least heard of it, or maybe I have seen it.
If you haven't seen it, Brandon, you should watch it. It's a very, very good movie.
I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna definitely put that on the list right there. Now, I could have wanted, the sequels, and Tara, you saying that we could have 3 movies. I definitely want more. They can expand on this so much. I would love to see who is at the top of the ladder. A good friend of mine hit me up. They didn't. Majority of the people I've talked to and comments I read enjoyed the movie, but one of their critiques was they said the climax was hella predictable, and I would have loved to wanted to know the backstory on the neighborhood and how they were infiltrated, because they had to be at this for decades, man. To have all that down there, that was very elaborate and intricate and thought out. So I would love to see more. Myself as far as that's concerned. Something else that was funny to me and just also inspiring, and I even want to take it back here when we were talking about the guns, because all y'all was making just such valid points, and I was like, well, I want to say this, but I was commentating, replying to this. Even back to this right here, they try to make it a stereotype that, like, okay, you can have a white family with they have the mom, the father, the grandma, the grandpa, the uncles, the daughter, the son, with the dog, with a big American flag in the background, everybody with their assault rifles, cheesing like this. This is the American dream. Look at this strong American family. Take the same exact photo and switch out white people with black people. Oh my God, those are thugs, those are criminals, the scum of the earth. Again, with this film, it promoted black gun ownership. Everybody had a gun, everybody had a gat. I personally think that every black man, woman, and child in America, in the world, should have a gun and learn how to use it. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying that you got to go outside in public and told it in the air like, hey, everybody look at me. No, you don't ever want to draw attention to yourself. You always avoid conflict, period. But I still think that we should all have, I have my 2 little things over here, or 3 little things over here, but and we will never, I don't want to say never, but I'm not trying to compete with everybody else and how many guns. White people got 10 guns per white person at least. But I like the promotion. Is basically what I'm saying. We got this shot right here, and then at the end when they're storming the castle, you know, when they show up to the record store, Jamie Foxx, oh yes, please, can you please point us to the elevator to the underground demon laboratory? And old dude let off the shot. Everybody had a gun. I'm like, yes, this is effing beautiful.
Exactly, right, and it's good that they did it because you don't know what's going to be down there. You have no clue what is going to be down there. Like you got to go in there prepared. And I like how they just went in there. It was like watching a Star Wars movie at first. Like, you know how they just the doors open and they pop, 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 like that. Yeah. The only difference is they had aim, unlike the stormtroopers who don't have aim. So this actually worked, you know, in this scenario. Yes. But one other funny thing that I forgot to mention was after they got Yo-Yo, and it was that scene with her, Kiefer Sutherland's character, and Slick Charles when they were in the lab where all the clones were at, and Slick Charles had went to shoot Kiefer Sutherland. He said, click, click. Oh, shit. Yeah. He realized he had no more bullets. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, man.
And Yo-Yo was like, damn it, Slick.
Yes. Your sweet time getting over here, didn't you?
Yes.
And I thought that was a perfect trick that they used, the clone to lay right there, and the real Slick was right there and caught him and pop, and that was it. So I thought that was real smart on their part.
I like that too. I like that too. I like that too. But yeah, just going back to the guns, man. Every time because you know, Tyra, I'm scary. There's some scary movies I can do, some I'm gonna stay away from. But the ones that I do see, when I'm screaming at the screen, I'm like, man, if y'all gonna infiltrate, man, come 50, 100 deep with guns. Don't be going there with two people with a spatula and some toothpicks and some paper towels. You know what I'm saying? Go in there, guns blazing, and that's what they did, man. They had the whole effing block, bro. That was so wonderful.
That was a wonderful shot too, where you had them riding down the block, Slick Charles in the front, and he's sitting with his gun right there, and it pans out, and everyone's coming down the block with their guns, and you can see them with the gun. Like I thought that was a very dope shot. Like they was like we were about to go in for war, and I'm glad that it wasn't a thing of them questioning too much of what was about to happen. Because some people, when you start questioning, is that now you're getting into that realm of being scared. Yes, but I like that they were just ready for anything. Like they said, we've already seen everything and heard everything, so this is a cakewalk for us. And they went up in you would have thought they went up in there multiple times. This was their first time they've all gone in there. But the way that they was maneuvering, you would have thought they made visits prior to this.
Oh, I love when the dude with the do-rag and velour suit answers the phone like, yeah, girl, come on down here, you know, bring here. Like, come on down up in here. I just thought that was so funny, like, because that's some stuff, you know, some of us black people would do.
Yes, yes, yeah. I was trying to bring up the image, goddamn, but I'm having the trouble doing it. But I was saying the same thing, Tyrone. They won, basically. You know, he got his feet kicked up or whatever. You know, hey, yeah, guess where I'm at, bro? I'm underground. You know what I'm saying? Come through, pull up. You know, bring Keisha. You know, that was wonderful. But
this scene right here.
Right here, man.
That part right there, I love. This is probably one of my favorite, not only scenes, but the way that it was shot. I really loved how they shot this scene.
Yes. I mean, and again, you know, Isaac, he killed Fontaine at the very beginning. And like y'all made the comments earlier when they was at the beauty salon and they come like, oh, Lazarus, what you doing back here? Or whatever.
What you doing back here? Like,
So there was beefing, but then right here in this scene, they're riding car to car together, and they're
like because they realize it's a bigger goal at hand here. Like they literally was able to put their differences aside and come together,
delivering them lines, and he was like, "So you mean to tell me it's some Bill Nye? Like, is there Book of Eli, or is that you know, is it training? Like, we gotta do it again. This needs to be training day type of acting." It
was perfect. It was perfect.
No, but
I loved it.
Yeah, but at the end when they was like, when the newscaster was interviewing like the black female newscaster, like she had went over there. I thought it was very interesting how even though you could tell she was a little uncomfortable, she was comfortable enough to go right over to them and still feel kind of safe. But when they started talking and they pulled their guns out, she was like, I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
I thought that was like that stereotypical thing too, because you know on the news they never go find, you know, somebody with some sense. They always put the person on the camera like it was fine. Like, nah, why you couldn't find nobody else to say what's happening.
But the thing is, they didn't go to him. If you could take the most ghetto, stereotypical person that will pop up on camera, and he did, they're like, oh shit, Shorty, what's going on? They cloning motherfuckers up in there, beer, man. They're crazy.
That is a prevailing theory. Yeah, exactly. And that's a natural reaction. Right. And I think anybody would have that because that's not something you would see all the time. So I thought I'm glad that they kept that in there because everyone's not gonna be like they were just cloning people here. I didn't notice this. I'm
that's
sorry, the official. I
didn't mean to cut you off.
That's the official fight song right there. Nothing you buck.
Yes, it is. It is. My bad. I was getting too damn excited or whatever. My fault. But yeah, man, and your boy Jamie, we knew that Tayona Paris, Yo-Yo was a genius. That they expressed that a number of times. But even Slick Charles, he's the one that came up with the plan, towards the end, like, hey, I got an idea, but you're not gonna like it, and brought everybody together.
Yeah.
Everybody together, man. And so
all these things y'all ingrained in my mind to be tricky and negative. I'm finna use all of this to
against you.
Fire.
With your bitch asses, I loved it. One thing I could have, they're not gonna put this in the movie is I could have used is they should have just been shooting all the white people in the end, just capping them for no reason.
Die, B.
Yeah, what do you mean? They're evil. They are evil. This is the most evil. Man, get them out of there. I have no shame in my heart.
I can't even disagree. I can't even disagree. Listen, I'm right there with you. I was glad they got Kiefer Sutherland. I was glad that they got him. All of them had them,
but BB wanted to see it like close range. I need confirmation. I need
that last part when they're riding to the lab. I could rewatch that scene over and over again.
Me
like
too,
that
bro.
was just it was such a literally like watching that scene actually gave me chills.
Yeah. I feel you, bro. That's what I want, man. That's what I want. I mean, and the thing is, when people are coming together, like they don't have faith in the hood community, and it's a sad truth to it. A lot of people, they are fine stuck in that lifestyle and Section 8 and stuck relying on government checks and the man to pay their bills. And I'm gonna just get a baby daddy and I don't have to work. And the more baby daddies I get, the more checks I can get. Of course, not everybody feels that way, but we know there's a small select few. But no, in this film, they was empowered. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. And we already know the middle and the upper class in Black society, well, not all of us are conscious, but, we're easier to convince or to influence. And so if we can get shit like this at the perceived bottom of the community, man, that's wonderful. Mm. This is a blueprint. Okay. Yeah. This is your homework, Black people. Watch this movie, get inspired, get motivated. It ain't gonna happen overnight, but still, we got to start somewhere.
For the white people that was working in the lab, the community coming together to do what they did in their minds was the failed experiment. It was not supposed to go down in that way.
Right.
It was supposed to be how they laid it out, the way that they had it planned, and just continue doing what they basically do their bidding. They went completely. They went completely, and as they glitched, and they turned on them, and they did what they said. They understood the assignment.
True. Got all the.
I got paperwork.
It's Biddy again. I got paperwork. She was hilarious.
Yeah,
Biddy was funny. Like Biddy was like an underrated funny character in this movie.
She really was. I do have a question though. The name of the movie is They Clone. Well, before that, so everything is exposed and put on the forefront. Clones are naked in the streets. People don't know what's going on. Real quick before I said it, I found it funny that they got one of the white people in the laboratory and they strapped him to the table and put the mind control
thing on him.
He's like, oh God. I just found that funny. But the shit hits the fan. Everything is revealed, and Yo-Yo was like, "Hey, I quit. I'm retired. I'm going to Memphis. I'm gonna do my thing." Slick Charles was like, "What's up?"
I just want to know what the hell was in Memphis.
Yeah, me too. Let us know. I don't know. Just I guess a new life. But Slick Charles decides to come as well. And then Fontaine was like, "Hey man, I'm a few days old. I guess I'm gonna explore the world, and I guess Memphis. I can't go to Memphis." And they decide to stay together. But Slick Charles said that the newer clone Fontaine is still tied up at the crib. So they showed a shot of Fontaine, and then the title of the film popped up. They cloned Tyrone, and I thought that was it, but we still got another scene. We got another either Tyrone or Fontaine waking up, did the routine, goes home, he's smoking a blunt with his people on the couch, and they're showing the news footage, and they're showing another clone, naked one of Fontaine. Everybody look like, hold up, ain't that you, Tyrone?
When he said that line, my jaw hit the floor. When I tell you,
help me out. I'm confused.
I almost closed my laptop, like almost slammed it shut. I was like, wow. Because I was wondering where, the movie's called They Cloned Tyrone, but we went through this whole movie and we have not heard the name Tyrone at all until that very last line when his friend said, "Ain't that you, Tyrone?" And I'm sitting here saying to myself, so wait a minute. What if he was the original? What if he was the original?
I don't
After
know.
all, the movie is named after him.
I thought Tyrone was just a generic black man's name, like a Pookie Ray Ray type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody other than black named Tyrone for the most part. So I thought that was
If I came across a white person named Tyrone,
bro, I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
I'm like, I'm gonna need to see a driver's license like right quick.
So I just thought that meant that it was a generic black man, but there's actually a character named Tyrone, and I don't know what that means. Tyra, you have any 2 cents on that?
Of course. No, I just thought it was confirmation that, because we know where the OG Tyrone is. Well, Fontaine, but of course, as they said, like, this is global, we're everywhere. That's just to give us confirmation that in LA, or even maybe give us window to a part 2, like this is happening there also. I think he's just another clone, but he just happens to be Tyrone. Named Tyrone.
Same time.
Okay. And you go ahead, Taurean. I think I cut you off as well. My fault.
I now that I think about it, I have to agree with Tyrone on that part. That that's just that's him, and that just shows you that there's multiple versions of this person in various different cities. So we may see they clone Brandon, not you, Brandon. But I'm sorry, they clone Malik. I mean, they clone Jordan. I don't know. Like, who knows exactly where they could actually go with this? But I thought that was actually a good way to end the movie. And then when they played that version of Tyrone by Erykah Badu, I said, see, that's why I said the soundtrack is perfect. They knew what music to use for this.
Yes, I agree. Overall, fantastic film. I loved it. I can watch this over and over again. I even got a plan right now as we're doing this to try to see stuff. I was looking at, like, in every store. I was like, I'm trying to look at the posters in the background. They got EBT cards and stuff all over the place. You know,
and notice they had the same routine. They had the same routine. Like, Fontaine and Tyrone had the same routine, but they were just in different areas of the establishment.
Yeah, still doing the same thing, going to get the 40, get the
I knew this couldn't be Fontaine, because I was looking at him how right. He said Tyrone is a French name. He said the European men, but they may be older. But
okay.
But I thought it was interesting too, was that I knew it couldn't be Fontaine because he had the teardrop tat, the tatted tears, and he had the tats on the neck. His hair was even different than his. So I was like, I said, I don't know. It could be, I don't know. But then when they said that line, I was like, oh my God. This movie right here gets a round of applause from me.
Tyrone could have had some fresher braids. I know that. I was upset about them damn braids. Like, come on now.
I could use some fresher braids myself as well. But I'm just gonna say that before somebody try to call me out in the comment section. But Tyra, it's clear we all really enjoyed this movie. Alliance had so much fun with it, and I had so much fun recapping it with you guys and engaging in the chats. Before we head out of here, ma'am, do you have any final thoughts on the film? Anything that we forgot to talk about that you want to get off your chest?
No, not. Let's just watch it again.
Okay.
Right.
Watch it again. Like this is kind of a divisive situation where depending on who's watching it, you take away something completely different. Like I think this is a conversation piece, which is why I'm glad you opened with, even though I reviewed it and talked about it, I'm here to talk about it again because it was just that good. Just as far as like what we didn't discuss, I love the Bikini Bottom like SpongeBob reference and him calling him Squidward because we all know how Squidward is, and even just the Bikini Bottom reference as a whole. SpongeBob and the Bikini Bottom is based off of a real island that was thinking like the 50s. It was used for nuclear weaponry, and they were launching all of these things and made all the islanders who lived there, they made them all move to some other island that was just not even all that great to live in, with the impression of, once we finish our experiments, you guys can, come home. But when they returned, everything around them was polluted and they could no longer live there. So I thought that was cool that he referenced SpongeBob as soon as the movie started. And then like the whole thing with Michael Jackson, because I was like, why? Because we open with them talking about Michael Jackson.
Right.
And then when
Tupac.
Yes. And then when we get to the, don't stop till you get enough, it's Michael Jackson again. And then once, they have the white dudes, black dudes with the afros. And it just made me think about Mike, and they were talking about a simulation and, was it all just Ventilago, or were you trying to, turn into, I'm serious, B. Was it all just that, or were you, trying to turn into a white person? And if you, were still, Mike with the big nose and the fro, would you have been, as massively successful as you were? So I thought those things were cool, but I thought this movie was really good, and I'm gonna watch it a couple more times because I feel like I might find something else.
Love it. I love it. Well, thank you, Tyra. I do appreciate that. Taurean, what are your final thoughts, man? Anything you want to get off your chest that we didn't discuss?
This is probably one of the best movies that I've seen so far this year. This movie actually could have had a theatrical release, but I'm glad that that they put it on Netflix. That way it will be more easily accessible for people to catch it. But yeah, I really did enjoy this movie. Kudos to the three main actors of this movie. They did a really good job, and I'm so glad that a lot of directors and a lot of Black actors are getting the opportunity to do films like this. That even though this movie could have easily gone complete stereotypical, I'm glad that it didn't, and I'm glad that they took tropes that some people may not agree with, but they threw it and made it into a storyline that actually made you think. And I'm glad that this movie has so many genres. You got comedy, you got thriller, you got suspense, you got horror, and you mix it all in it, but it works. Because sometimes you can do all of that and it just doesn't work because one may lean more than the others. It was sprinkled generously throughout. Everybody did their part. Even the supporting cast did a wonderful job. The way that it was shot, the script was amazing. The directing was phenomenal. I hope that the guy who did the directing directs more films. And you know what? I've always, I always credit people like Jordan Peele for helping to bring a lot of Black talent to the forefront when it comes to these type of movies in modern day, like recently. And I said it needs to be more like this, because for a long time, a lot of Black people have been yearning to want to be in the front of sci-fi-esque type of films where they are the protagonist rather than the supporting character or the sidekick or even the antagonist, coming in to save the day. And the thing is, I liked about this is that this story was bigger than the three main characters. It was about saving the whole community.
Yeah.
So I really liked how, everything was put together. If they made a sequel to this, let the same cast come back. Let the same director come back, because the director and the writer are the same people. That's that soundtrack. Let that hit again. Let it have the same tone. Like they always say, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
This is a perfect example of that. I think they could really, with how this ended, they could go and expand more into this. But if they decide to say, we'll just let this be a one-off, I won't even be upset with that either.
Right. Well said, my brother. You too, Tyra. Man, I don't even know what to say after what both of you said. I echo absolutely everything. I love this movie. I'm willing to see it again. Even though I wasn't in love with Fontaine Boyega toward the beginning of this movie, I found to be in love with him towards the end.
Even his LA accent was pretty good.
Yeah. This is a, in my opinion, I love the way the community came together. This is funny, hilarious, and serious, all wrapped up in one. Like you said, Taurean, so many genres packed into this film. And even though it may be a K5 first grade version, this is still a blueprint of what the community coming together and fighting this system of racism and white supremacy. Shout out to Tayona Paris, John Boyega, and also Jamie Foxx. We know that he had a health scare recently, and he is well recovered now. I don't know if y'all saw him speaking
video
online, but I kind of just want
I saw it.
I didn't see the whole thing. I kind of just want to play just a piece of it real quick, if y'all don't mind. Because I don't know, there may be somebody else out there that hasn't seen it.
Everybody,
can y'all hear that?
Prayed,
yeah.
Messages. I cannot even begin to tell you how far it took me and how it brought me back. I went through something that I thought I would never ever go through. And I know a lot of people were waiting, or wanting to hear updates, but to be honest with you, I just didn't want you to see me like that, man. I want you to see me laughing, having a good time, partying, cracking a joke, doing a movie, television show. I didn't want you to see me with tubes running out of me and trying to figure out if I was gonna make it through. And to be honest with you, my sister Deidre Dixon, my daughter Corinne Marie saved my life. So to them, to God, to a lot of great medical people, I'm able to leave you this video. I cannot tell you how great it feels to have your family kick in such a way. And y'all know they kept it airtight. They didn't let nothing out. They protected me. And that's what I hope that everyone could have in moments like these. Now, by being quiet, sometimes things, get out of hand. People saying what I got. Some people said I was blind, but as you can see, the eyes are working. The eyes are working just fine. Said I was paralyzed. I'm not paralyzed. But I did go through. I went to hell and back, and my road to recovery had some potholes as well. But I'm coming back. And I'm able to work, so I want to thank the people that let me work. And I just want to say that I love everybody, and I love all of the love that I got. And man, I know they talk about people crying on videos. You can do take two, but I'm not gonna do a take two. It is what it is. And if you see me out from now on, and every once in a while I just burst into tears, is because it's been tough, man. I was sick, man, but now I got my legs under me, so you're gonna see me out. But like I said, I just want you to remember me for the jokes that I crack, the movies that I make. Some of them good, some of them ain't. I think I got a good one out. And the songs that I sing, man. And then some people were talking about I'm clone. Well, check this out. Just kidding. Not clone, man, but I'm here on earth because of some great people. I'm here on earth because of God, man. So I love all y'all. I just wanted to jump on here and let you know that I'm on my way back in love.
Oh, really?
I was about to say, if he took that mask off, he would have been a scroll.
Man. That's what's up. Jamie, we love you, man. If you see this, and thank you so much for contributing all your talents throughout these years. But guys, before we head out of here, Tyra, real quick, man, what do you have going on your lovely channel for all the good people out there to look forward to?
So much. Y'all go watch my Bamboozled video. I worked hard on that one. That is a good one. Please go and check that out, of course. And I think maybe the next hour or so, my video for They Clone Tyrone will be premiering. So be there for that. And then let's see, child, this week, well, moving into next week, we are getting into What's Love Got to Do with It? Serial Mom and the House of Horrors, the Dolores from
Serial Mom is one of my favorites.
Really?
That movie is
I had never seen it until this review, so I was like, wow.
How many? I know you was laughing. That movie is hilarious. And that movie was actually shot in the state that I live in, like in Silver Spring, like it's like Silver Spring, Maryland. Yeah, like back in the 90s. That movie is hilarious.
Well, y'all be on the lookout for that, as well as just all the other endless damn content is there. There's just so much content here for you guys to watch. But be sure to pull up to my premiere for They Clone Tyrone and be on the lookout for What's Love Got to Do with It, as well as Serial Mom, and check out that community tab to see all the other movies that I have coming up as well.
Right on. Thank you, Tyra. Do appreciate it.
Hey, Tyra, did that make you want to sing the song Daybreak? For those of y'all who never seen the movie Serial Mom, you can see the movie, you know the reference. But on my channel, today I had to talk about those two fraudsters still trying to get money out of Michael Jackson's estate. And also I did my review, as you can see up there, for They Clone Tyrone. Tomorrow I will be doing a video on, I don't know if y'all heard about that country singer Jason Aldean.
I heard a little whisper of it.
The one with him with that song that he came out with. Well, apparently the sun was affecting him because he suffered a heat stroke while performing on one of his concerts, and they had to cancel the show right there. And then followed up like a couple of days later in Cleveland. Nature wasn't on his side again because it was a washout. So he had to end up postponing that show till September 17th. So yes, I will be talking about that song, because basically the song that's controversial is basically him big upping like small towns, like sundown towns, like basically giving them praise. So it, like, a lot of people, when they found out he suffered that heat stroke, wasn't feeling bad. Now here's the crazy part: this guy is from the South. His concert where he had the heat stroke was in Connecticut. Go figure. So yeah, I will be definitely talking and addressing him tomorrow.
I'll be checking it out.
Is killing me. They down there. That ain't Jamie. That's not him. The chat is
crazy.
That's a clone. It's not Jamie.
Is that what they're saying? Y'all crazy. And guys, if you're on Torian or Tyra's channel and you're watching me, come through surprise. Come through and subscribe. You're gonna get all this fancy stuff right here. Got movie reviews, spoiler movie reviews, martial arts movie reviews. I'm covering Warrior season 3. Also, Secret Invasion on Disney Plus. Movie news roundup show, superhero comic book show, some trailer reactions and interviews as well. I got a couple of trailer reactions for you guys coming. And also tomorrow, I will be going live again at 12 p.m. CST for Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan's latest film, with Miss Kimberly Currin from Southern California. And so, yeah, make sure you come through if you've seen the film, because we're going to get into all of that spoilery goodness as well. Again, I want to thank my lovely guests, Tyra and Taurean, for being here. I do appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Nice. Glad to be here.
Of course.
And again, if you just want to help support your boy, go watch my non-spoiler review as well. And like I said, all my other content. But guys, again, we just all want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery. That's Tyra. That's Taurean. And that's just our opinion. Peace out. And we'll all see you next time. I'm sorry, and thank you everybody in the chat as well, and for all the super chats, all that. Thank you. I'm so sorry, my bad.
Right, I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, my fault.
Right. That's what I was like. I was like, hold on. I thought it was over. I clicked
my fault,
back over. I was like, hold on. I hope I ain't missing nothing.
I'm glad y'all wasn't eating right there. My fault. All right, we out of here. Peace.